stretch to execute, especially out of a lot of those post touches that you were getting?
Yeah, I think we stuck with that. We seen some good stuff, some out of there in the first half. Some of them shots we didn't make, but we generated some good looks with me in the post. I didn't even have to dribble, and they were double teaming. That last one when I caught it at the elbow, I seen Mark Williams kind of leave Oso right under the rim. So it was kind of do some unconventional things on the defense side of the ball. So we tried to stay patient, not let them speed us up and get good looks. And we was able to generate something there in the fourth quarter.
Obviously, you guys still have things that you would like to work on, I'm sure, but when you can start to string together wins like this, can you kind of feel a little bit of momentum or the vibes going in a more positive place?
I mean, the vibe's always been good to me. I mean, from the outside looking in, it's tough because we losing, but for the most part, I mean, everybody's coming in trying to figure stuff out, working hard, coming in here with energy, enthusiasm for the game of ball. And sometimes we just aren't better than our opponents that night. So I felt like tonight they kicked our ass on the boards to start the game, and I think we was able to swarm and all give multiple efforts on that end of the glass, the defensive glass. So it's a good finish for us.
Kevin, you were kind of talking about that possession, but with about a minute left, I think everybody in the gym was expecting you to shoot, and then you see Oso, and he finishes with the dunk. Do you think that's kind of a good growth moment for Oso, that he knows that you have trust in him to finish in a clutch situation?
I think he always knew I trusted him. I don't feel like we needed to go through that moment. So that wasn't defining moment in our relationship, that solidified our trust. I feel like he always knew I'm on this side, and I'm on the same page with him. So I'm sure people in the arena thought I was going to shoot, but I try to make the right play as much as I can and try to just play the game the way it's presented to me. And tonight they doubled a lot in those spots, so I didn't want to rush. I took my time, and I was able to find Oso. He was great tonight.
Kevin, along those same lines, probably the greatest scorer ever, but are there moments where you wonder, like, why are they doubling so much because of the amount of clean, wide open looks you get on the backside? Yeah,
I mean, sometimes I do. I mean, to start the game, like the first possession of the game, you start double teaming. When I get in the post, you double team. And even as they was double teaming out top, when Melo was on me, they would run and jump me at the 3-point line to start the game. Sometimes it's a little weird. I always talk to the bench about that, the opposing team. But they're just telling us they rather live with my teammates shooting open shots, which is crazy to me. And so the law averages, guys gonna knock those down if you keep giving them looks. And we got a healthy amount of those looks throughout the game, and we was able to execute there in the fourth quarter. But yeah, it throws me off sometimes too when you start the game and swarming and doubling and zones behind me when I get the ball and all 5 eyes watching me. I take it as a sign of respect, but I also want to go out there and play too. But if you're going to take me away, then I'm going to utilize my teammates regardless.
Kevin, you just said the vibe has been pretty good and guys are still working hard. How important is that belief for a team that's still trying to just figure things out?
Yeah, it's always important for you to believe. Man, it's early in the season, 19-19, and we know it's a long year, and so even good teams go through ebbs and flows in your vibes throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? It's a long year. There's a lot going on in each individual's minds. You never know what's going on in these guys' minds throughout the season. So, but I think basketball is kind of like our solace, our happy place. So we come in here regardless of wins and losses sometimes, and it's like therapy to us. So, yeah, but it's going to be ups and downs throughout the season, and we lean on each other, and that's the great part about basketball and team sports. You got a brotherhood that you create in the locker room, regardless of how the games finish.
Kev, Oso just talked about being a sponge when it comes to the game. Just curious, what have you seen maybe as the biggest area of growth for him so far?
Free throws, the little hook shot in the paint, get more confident with that. Defending on the perimeter without fouling. I think that game against Memphis, me and him had a long talk after that game against Memphis. When Jaren Jackson came in, he fouled him a lot that game, had a few and ones, and he was pissed about it. And and we talked about it, and his passion and enthusiasm for wanting to get better I seen it that night. I always seen it, but it just was it was very evident that night after the game. He was upset, visibly upset. So you could just see that, each experience, him and Ryan are just, gaining more and more information on what they need to do out there and just trying to apply it as much as they can. And it's going, like I've been saying, it's going to come times when they look great. And it's going to come times where it may not look so great, but they know that we behind them. They know that, we expect a lot out of them, and they got a lot of responsibility. So I'm just grateful that they're on my team.
When you look at just these last couple of games defensively, second half against Atlanta, fourth quarter tonight, how much is strictly on the defensive end is going to be necessary to get this going the way you guys want it?
Yeah, that's really what it is. I mean, hanging our hats on that side. I think last few games we've been holding our opponents to at least between 40 to 45% shooting. I think, that number is pretty solid for us, And once we rebound the ball too, we get out and run because we can make plays on the offensive end. But once we limit their second chance points and easy baskets from offensive rebounds, and we usually in good shape. So yeah, we hanging our hats on the defensive side of the ball, making adjustments pretty quick, and that's what we're gonna need to do if we want to be a great team.
Kevin, that was the first win for the Commanders in the playoffs since you were 17.
Damn.
What's that do for PG County and the DC area that you have so much pride in?
Yeah, it does a lot, man. It's been a fun ride throughout the season, everybody is more happy as a fan when there's low expectations, when nobody expecting you to win but next year is going to be the test to see, because everybody's going to be expecting us to do big things, so you nitpick when you got high expectations. When you got low expectations like we had coming into the year, it was pretty fun to watch. So hopefully we keep it going next week.
As we talked about in the locker room, as fate would have it, you guys are 3 hours beforehand
Right.
across the street.
Right.
You guys will be there. You and Book. There's a wager developing there? I'm sure he asked us to ask you what the wager would be. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him on the side, man. So y'all ain't got to worry about that. And we'll see what happens this week. But I'm excited that we get to play in the playoffs against a great team, and we actually gonna be in that city. It's gonna be dope. I'm looking forward to it.
Last two, Barry and Brendan. Hey, KD, so from your experience, just piggybacking off of that, what's a long road trip like this for a team? Does it give you a chance to come together a little bit, eat dinners together, really, bond?
For sure, especially when you get to stay over in cities, when you stand over, I think in a few of these, I think Atlanta, D.C., what else we play on this? New York, Detroit, Cleveland. I think we spend the night in a couple of those cities after the game, and I think that's usually when your team gets opportunity to bond, break bread together, So, yeah, it's always fun on the road. I love it.
This is a great opportunity for you guys.
Yeah, it is. We got some good tests on the road. Some good young teams that we're trying to get some revenge on. Detroit, Cleveland have been a great team. The Nets, they beat us too. So Atlanta's going to be ready, and Washington. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I get to go back to my hometown too and play a game and spend the night there. So it should be a solid trip, man. Hopefully we come back with some W's.
And just as an aside, just take the double team as like an intentional walk in baseball.
Yeah, exactly. I look at it that way.
Brendan, last one. You're good? All right. Thanks, guys.